Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Turin here. It's Turin here, and today, guys, we are going to play Bretonnia, New Bretonnia, against the Empire. So definitely going to be fun. Let's go ahead and get Alberic, although the regeneration on King Loon is quite nice, and actually the Fan Enchantress is not a bad choice. She does have like a bit of a Mortis Engine type effect, and she does bring the Lore of Life to the table, so you don't really need to spend money on a Damsel, which is something else to consider. So, you know what? Let's do it for the lady. Why not? Let's have some fun, boys. So we're gonna get Regrowth probably. Let's also get rid of Flesh to Stone. We'll keep Awakening of the Wood and Earthblood, which should be pretty strong. So we're gonna put her on her unicorns just so she can kind of prance around and do her thing. Let's also get the Green Knight. Why not? Let's have some fun. Again, it might not be the most competitive, but I think it will be quite good. So we're gonna kind of mix it up a little bit and hopefully play some mind games. We're gonna get a bunch of Battle Pilgrims here. We're gonna get a Grail Reliquae. We're gonna get 2 Foot Squires. So we're going a little bit light on the Foot Squires. And let's see, as far as Cav goes, do we want to? I feel like contesting this guys might be kind of fun. Let's actually get some mounted yeomen. We're gonna like Vanguard deploy them. I think this is a good map for that. So we can Vanguard deploy those guys there. Let's see. Do we want to get any missiles? Probably not. Although the Royal Pegasus Knights guys are so incredibly good. But we're going to get a group of the Questing Knights here. And do we want to get one more group of Questing Knights? I feel like that might not be bad. Let's see here. Do we want to get some Men-at-Arms with polearms? I mean, you don't really need a ton of anti-large in that respect, but we could get some Grail Knights, or maybe Knights of the Realm might be like a cheap option here. But the Dolores Blade is, if we get rid of that, I mean, it's good, but it is like, has a long cooldown, so if you miss your window with it, it's not as good. So we're going to get some Grail Knights here, and then we're just going to kind of, wrap all those guys up. So Grail Knights, I mean, they do have the Living Saints, which is pretty good. But still, honestly, I think getting another group of Questing might have been better. But the Mounted Yeomen might seem like a weird pick, but against Empire, they like to do a lot of shenanigans, and they probably might have a Hammer of the Witches or something. So we're just trying out new stuff, guys. We're gonna see how it works. But yeah, I don't know. Empire is one of those factions that is so incredibly diverse. They can do so many things. Like I played a game earlier, where they had like 2 steam tanks, and it was tough to deal with. And they had a Hammer of the Witches, and they were just kind of kiting. And I played actually 2 or 3 people who were using that build. I don't know if like a streamer or something used it, but yeah. So with Empire, you kind of just it's a wild card type situation. But the Battle Pilgrims will be pretty good. They'll be immune to psychology. They're already immune to psychology because they're frenzy. But when that breaks, the Grail Reliquae will keep them, essentially immune to psychology. We do have 2 Foot Squires because again, although he might bring a ton of great swords, but if he does, that'll be rough. If he brings like more spears and halberds, I think we'll be in better shape because the Battle Pilgrims will cut them up. We do have the Fan Enchantress with her Mortis Engine, and we do have the Green Knight, who's definitely going to just be guarding her against the dive, because she's very weak to being dove, so you have to be pretty cognizant of that. So we're going to get these guys like so. We'll put these guys in their lance formation, although actually let's try and micro a little bit and not be lazy, because normally a lot of people probably just keep them in the lance formation initially, but we're going to put those EM in there. We're going to put these guys here. That'll give us a lot of flexibility. I mean, yeomen aren't obviously elite by any means, but they do a pretty good job of harassing, and they're very quick. 90 move speed, shielded very fast. They do have Vanguard, which is pretty cool. A lot of people don't expect them. It's a bit of a mind games thing. So his army is big. So that leads me to believe he brought relatively low tier infantry, flagellants. Oh, flagellants versus, religious fanatic battle all day, boys. This is going to be great. So the yeoman, this is pretty good. I'm trying to think. We'll probably be really patient, but a steam tank. Yeah, why are so many people bringing steam tanks? Fortunately, he doesn't have any squishy targets, so we're just going to use the yeoman as kind of like I don't know, what's the proper term? I guess just rear triggering the rear charge bonus. So we're going to fly them up here, and he does have 2 Demogryph Knights. So the Questing Knights actually do better against them, not better, but very well against Demis. I think they actually might do almost better than Grail Knights. I don't know. Hard to say. They don't have the anti-large, but they do have high armor piercing, and Demogryph Knights again have like 125 armor. Yeah, did they buff that? I thought it was 120. So the Questing Knights we need to save, because if we lose them, we're not going to have many ways of dealing with that steam tank, which is really tough. So we're just going to get these yeomen kind of chilling. He does have a light wizard, so what we might do is wait for the fighting to start, and then have the yeomen swarm his squishy casters. So does he have 2 light wizards? Is he going to net me down? I wonder what's going to happen with that. That's interesting. So I like this guy's build. It's really cool. We're not taking many losses yet. I think he's just trying to shoot at the Reliquae, and he's hitting some of these these Battle Pilgrims in the front line. So the Green Knight, we want to use kind of like an assassin, just have him go after some of these high value units like the Wizard, things like that. And honestly, Green Knight, you can just like charge him in right now, and just start harassing with him. He's one of those, like, he can break opponents down pretty hard. So we're just kind of chilling in the forest right now, just hanging out. We do have Lore of Life. We do have the Mortis Engine effect from the Fan Enchantress, which let's go ahead and look here. The Mist of the Lady, so negative it does damage and also lowers their melee attack, which will lower the melee attack of these guys to be, in the 20s, which is really good. In our kind of our showdown here. So this is kind of making to be a very fun battle so far. We got our mounted yeomen kind of waiting in the forest here. Definitely a very head up kind of fanatics fight, which is going to be fun. So let's get these guys going here, these guys like so, and just kind of engage across the entire front line here. So let's go ahead and pull our cav a little bit closer so they can get out if need be. We'll get these guys just kind of engaging in the blob. So we're going to try and keep it relatively high and tight so this Grail Reliquary can do its thing. And the lady also, or excuse me, the Fey Enchantress, she needs to be like pretty close to her boys. So he's kind of just chilling here. I don't know if he's like AFK or something. No, he's not. Okay, so he was just playing possum, guys, just trying to bait us in to some funny business. So yeah, so far so good. I mean, most of the units are pretty close to the Grail Reliquary. Let's go ahead and use an Awakening of the Wood to trigger that Earth Bloom just to get those heals going relatively quickly here. So we're just going to use it on these demis. It doesn't really matter. So we're going to get these guys going here, and then also we want to get the Green Knight. So we want to go and look for like high value units like this Wizard here. So he's actually engaging in the front line with those. So we're going to engage right like so. We'll get these guys in the lance formation, and let's get these guys. Yeah, we can just engage them right there in the front. That's totally fine. We're going to get these the questing knights over here on that tank. So you can see the lady is actually draining everyone, which is nice. We're going to buff these Grail Knights, so when they come in with the shock here with this lance formation, they're going to do quite well, and get these guys on the armor piercing variant. So right now, look how many resources he's spending on the Green Knight. Like, I'm totally fine with that. We can also get a heal here, which is going to hit him, and you can see they're going in their lance formation. They are going to get countercharged a little bit, but we do have our questing knights pushing onto the steam tank, which is exactly what we need, because again, it is pretty heavily armored, guys. So we're playing it in many ways like a Vampire Counts build, because again, we have that attrition game. We have the drain. I think we can definitely outclass a lot of these guys, and the Demogryph Knights are doing okay, but you can see these Grail Knights are doing pretty well against them also. So do we have a regrowth? I think we're going to use that on our Grail Knights over here to kind of buff them up. Again, pretty sturdy unit, and if we can keep them alive, that's going to be pretty solid. So the Grail Knights, we're going to go ahead and pull back. The Mounted Yeomen, we're going to kind of get in position right now and just try and find some good targets to rear charge. So right now, we're just going to charge into these, although we did pull some spears. That's unfortunate. So let's pull them around here and see where we can hit in the back. So let's go ahead and run into these flagellants. We're just going to cycle charge with them pretty aggressively, and let's go ahead and use Awakening of the Wood. And that Green Knight, look at how many resources he's investing in that. It's pretty incredible. So you get a nice little charge here. It doesn't do a ton of damage, but it's going to hurt the leadership of my opponent. So we're going to charge in with those Mounted Yeomen. Green Knight just being an absolute pimp, and with the healing, he's going to be so hard to heal. So that was a huge mistake on my opponent's part. So we do get these guys back. Let's go ahead and pull these guys around. We're just going to run with the Yeoman here. We're going to pull these ones in like so to rear charge those flagellants, and we're just draining them, guys. Like, we're straight up just draining. But he does use a net, so very, very well played. But I mean, I'm totally fine with him using a net here. But unfortunately, we did get our questing knights kind of trapped in there a little bit, which is a mistake. But it's okay. We can't win all the time, guys, because he did pull the tank back. I was hoping to get that armor piercing on those guys. And what does he have here? 2 Demogryph Knights with halberd. So let's actually just play defensively. So we're going to get our knights in the back here. We do have these Mounted Yeomen who got a nice little charge here. And the Green Knight is continuing to just do some work against these light wizards. But I don't see his army holding up much longer. His infantry line is starting to crumble pretty quickly. The balance of power is just barely in my favor, not like too heavily. So right now we're just going to mirror his cav and see what we can do. So yeah, we'll just run with these guys. That's fine. The more time he allocates to those rather than the front line, I'm totally fine with that. So we're just going to push through here. Our front line was able to just absolutely crush his. Having her here with that kind of perpetual drain is actually really nice. So, it's a bit of a change up. A lot of people are going to expect Flying Lords, and it looks like the tank is pushing through, going after my lady. So we're going to pull these guys right here and just kind of surround. Although we probably want to use the Grail Knights to deal with Demogryphs. So we're going to send the Questing Knights in on the steam tank, pull her back, just wait for like an Earthblood, and let's go ahead and, he does use a really good net. So we're going to pull her through these troops just for cover. See, he's coming in and trying to get me pretty aggressively here. So let's go ahead and cast an Earthblood right here on this big blob. It's going to hit a lot of our knights, which is going to be really good. And also these Grail Knights, we want to make sure to pass them onto those demis. She's not a decent combatant. She's not very good. Let's just be real here. But, again, she can fight, not a pushover. So he's netting down a lot of my troops, which is allowing him to get some relatively advantageous positions. But, our Pilgrims are all confident, and, except for the ones that have, a few models left. And these demis are down to 13 models. I did use the Favor of the Fae, which gives 58 melee attacks. So these Grail Knights are going to be really, really strong right now. And also these Questing Knights right here, let's see what they're doing. So they're fighting the Steam Tank, which is great because they have high AP. Also, we do have some Foot Squires here, so let's actually pull the Foot Squires back to that tank, have them help out. We can just have these Battle Pilgrims kind of just hold up here. But again, he's spending so much time on that Green Knight over there, which is really tough. So looks like the Grail Knights are able to get in there and do some pretty good work. He didn't have a lot of juicy targets, but we do have these Yeomen, so let's actually pull them back and just have them start going after routing units. And we want to keep the Fey Enchantress in the fight, just so she's always draining something. So some more demis coming over here. So are we in the Lance formation? We are. So they're going to get a nice little Lance charge here, and you can see, that was cool. There was actually some cav that went flying there. So just continuing to work on the Steam Tank. We're actually going to pull to break these Knights real quick and just leave the Foot Squires dealing with those. Let's see how everything's going here. So pretty atrocious battle, for sure. And the Green Knight is finally getting worn down, but I'm fine with that. I guess he's trying to get out of the way first rather than last, which is interesting. But yeah, we only have 3 Grail Knights left, guys, which is pretty tough. So let's go ahead here and try and finish these guys off. Just keep that Green Knight fighting and look for, oh, here's a Wizard. So this is exactly what I wanted to use the Yeoman for earlier, just to go after these Wizards. And really, you know, that's going to take away a lot of utility. But these Nets allowing my opponent to, you know, get a lot of maneuvering in on me. But we get a nice little charge there, knock that Wizard back. And if we can break him real quick, that's going to be really nice. And the Green Knight, you can see he's terrifying a lot of those low tier spears, which is good. Definitely doing his people proud. We're going to go ahead and do an Earthblood back here. Not an Earthblood, excuse me, an Awakening of the Wood. And look at those Yeomen actually break that guy, which is great. So that heal right there is going to be nice. The Earth Bloom triggers. It's only 4 heals per tick now. It's not as good as it once was. Man, 1 Grail Knight left fighting. How gangster is that? That is so cool. So we're going to keep pushing in here. We'll put these guys, just have them kind of keep fighting here. Just pushing in. Man, that Green Knight is just being so good right now. Big mistake on my opponent's part, I think, focusing it the whole battle. Not the whole battle. He kind of peeled off it a few times, but still, you know, he put a lot of resources into that. So over here, we do have our Yeomen. You know, they did a pretty good job with that Wizard, and Yeomen are decent for, like, doing cleanup duty. So we do have some Battle Pilgrims coming back, so yeah, let's check it out. We can get a little cinematic shot in here. You can see some of these guys with their big great swords kind of fighting, doing their thing, and we need to finish that steam tank off, and then we can go deal with the rest of this nonsense over here. So he does have some demis actually still fighting. So I think we got the Wizard. Yeah, it's shattered now. So what we can do is kind of just posture them up here and just kind of wait and see what's going on. And, you know, I keep calling her the lady, but the damsel is going to be, God, not the damsel, the Fey Enchantress. Goodness gracious. She's going to be really good in, like, long, atrocious battles, because with that perpetual drain, it's going to be, you know, quite a force to be reckoned with. So we're going to use the favor of the Fey here. Let's pull some Foot Squires. Actually, we can have them just turn and fight here. And we probably just, you know, going to snipe out the last of his few units here. So well played to my opponent. It was a bit of a Staxy game. If any of you guys have ever played Magic the Gathering and have heard that expression, Stacks is kind of like an atrocious style play when you just kind of, you know, put a multitude of effects on the stack and wear your opponents out over a long battle. But we did it. That was a savage. Look at those Flagellants and Battle Pilgrims just fighting all day. I mean, that's fun. That's super fun, guys. So hopefully you enjoyed that. I mean, 120 kills is no joke. That's pretty good. And the Foot Squires did good. The Grail Knights underperformed a little bit, but 74 kills on the Questing Knights is pretty incredible. So, I mean, we survived against 3 demis, guys, so can't complain. Well played to my opponent, Grey Knight Dante. And let's actually take a look at his army before we say goodnight. But yeah, demis did good. You know, I think the steam tank might be a thing against Bretonnia. Every Empire player I've played has, like, picked a steam tank. I don't know why, but I mean, I guess it's hard to deal with. I'm not sure. But anyways, well played to Grey Knight Dante. I look forward to seeing you again on Ladderbud, and thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it as always. Stay tuned.